Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much for tuning in. We are going to be talking about our geologging service at Structural Soils, and without further ado, I will start. So we just have a few housekeeping rules. All attendee microphones are automatically muted throughout the webinar. During the presentation, you can post questions online, and there will be a Q&A session at the end of the presentation. As we will try and answer as many questions as possible. Those that we can't answer due to time constraints will be answered after the webinar. Shortly after the webinar, you'll receive a link to a short survey. If you could take a few minutes to provide your feedback, please, so we can improve on future presentations. Thank you. So first of all, I'd like to introduce our main speaker, which is Sinan. So Sinan, please introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sinan Al-Jassar. I'm Associate Director at Structural Soils.
Hello, I'm also an Associate Director of Structural Soils, and my name is Eric Downey, and I'll be doing the intro, and then the main event will become after me. So I'm going to be giving a little bit of an introduction to Structural Soils. I'm going to be talking about our technical services resource and our accreditations and membership, and also our geologging service. So we have 8 offices in the UK, stretching from Plymouth to Glasgow, and we have 4 UCLAS accredited laboratories, Bristol being the largest, then Castleford with a materials testing laboratory and our Red Lab, Hemel Hempstead, and Tonbridge. So we have a number of in-house drilling rigs, but we've also got the resource of our RSK sister companies who've got a number of other drilling rigs as well for our use. So here's just a bit more of a spread of where our drilling resources are. Feel free to contact us, ask@soils.co.uk for any rig availability that you may require. We're very proud to be part of a number of association bodies, the British Drilling Association, Achilles, AGS, risks. All of these are very, very useful for our clients, and so that they can assure that we are independently audited on a number of our operational aspects. So we're working for a number of key clients, as you can see, a number of industries and all different types of environments. Now I'm going to hand you over to Sinan to talk about our geologging service.
Thank you, Eric. Maybe to start with a little bit about my background. I have been working for Structural Soils for the past 22 years, but before that I spent about 18 years in the academic field before I moved on to the industry. Perhaps some of you might be familiar with the geologging. This presentation summarizes the application of the geologging tools in the ground investigation. My first involvement with the downhole geologging or geophysical logging was in 2008, when Structural Soils carried out comprehensive ground investigation for Hinkley Point C nuclear power stations. Since then, I have been involved with the geophysical logging in a large and strategic projects. I work with a professional geologging team who are dedicated to a high standard data acquisition and processing. We use the latest WellCAD software to process the data and output it in a PDF format, CSV file, and LAS file. In this presentation, I will be showing the PDF format, while the other 2 files are the data which generate the PDF format. Next. We usually operate from four-wheel drive van if the access is suitable. Next. Or without a van if the access is not suitable for a van and use the mobile winch. Next. All our tools are calibrated in a dedicated borehole in structural soils premises. The calibration usually carried out before undertaking any site work. All the tools and the process of conducting the logging comply with the requirements of the American Standard for Testing and Material, that is the ASTM D575, planning and conducting borehole geophysical logging. Next. These are the geologging tools. We normally carry them in a special adaptable geologging van. I will be discussing the use of these tools in more detail. Next. The optical televiewer. It provides actually a high resolution continuous image of the borehole. And what you see here, the first column is the optical. The image is referenced to the magnetic north and presented as unwrapped cylinder with horizontal scale. Next. Or wrapped back into cylindrical form to form a virtual core. All the bedding, joints, and fractures can be identified and displayed on the image, including inclination and orientations using a well-CAD software and adjusted by experienced engineer. These all can also be shown in 3D, like what you see now on these two virtual cores. All the discontinuities can be represented in 3D. Can we go back to the previous slide, please? Also, we provide wolf diagram and Draw's diagram of the bedding, joints, fractures, and other discontinuities are also obviously displayed on the same log. Next, the acoustic televiewer. This is the second column. The acoustic actually uses a travel time and amplitude of an acoustic signal transmitted and received by rotating ultrasonic mirror sensor. It's usually displayed side by side with the optical televiewer. Sometimes, when the optical log is not clear enough because of the cloudiness of the water, the acoustic log can be used as an alternative. The variance in the acoustic properties of the formation and associated features enables the nature of fractures, fissures, veins, bedding planes, and lithology changes to be determined. The different structures, including their orientation and direction, can be shown also on the image. You can see these dot, the green and pink dots. These represent actually these discontinuities. Next. The caliper tool. This is a 3-arms caliper and used to measure the precise diameter of the borehole continuously along the whole length of the borehole. The tool is used to check and identify zones of washout, collapses, highly fractured areas, and open fissures. Can we go back to the previous slide, please? You could see here on this, I'm not sure whether you can see the last column where the logs displayed. The pink actually represent the caliper. You could see some slight changes in the borehole diameter, where it's, I think, somewhere in the middle and somewhere in at the bottom. And these caused by weaker rock. You would see a spike for any collapse and fracture zone, but unfortunately on this borehole log, there was no collapses to show, but there is a bit of slight change in the diameter because of the strength of the rock being weaker. Next.
Again. We've done this slide.
Next slide. Next slide, please. Verticality measurement. The verticality measurement is actually very important for an advanced geophysical survey in the boreholes, and that is downhole geophysics and crosshole geophysics, where the verticality is very important for the borehole to be calculated. And this tool actually measures the verticality. So this tool provides a continuous log of the borehole using accelerometer and magnetometers to measure its inclination, that's the tilt, and direction, that's the azimuth, and you could see it displayed on the same log. It should be noted that the measurements cannot be undertaken in a cased borehole. The tilt is red. I'm not sure if you can see it, it's very small now. And the azimuth is blue. You can see the changes in these in this section of the borehole. Next, natural gamma, fluid temperature, and conductivity. This tool measures the naturally occurring gamma radiation found in rocks and sediment. It also measures fluid temperature and fluid conductivity. Next. Natural gamma log is also used to identify changes in lithology along the whole length of the borehole. In this example from Stowfield Quarry in Wales, we can see the borehole to the left. The televiewer is clear and we can recognize the lithological changes, while the borehole to the right is relatively cloudy, but with the aid of natural gamma log, we can identify the lithological changes. Next. Nuclear magnetic resonance. This tool is widely used in the oil and gas exploration industry since it was developed in the late 40s. Later, it was introduced into the geotechnical ground investigation. It is based on the magnetic resonance phenomenon, and basically it is similar to the MRI, which is used for medical diagnosis. Next. The NMR tool provides permeability in 3 models, as well as transmissivity in 3 models, and porosity. In addition to that, it's also provide pore water geometry. The data is provided in an increment of 25 centimeters along the whole length of the borehole, enabling a precise assessment of the permeability and the characterization of the formation strata. I think the log here is maybe too small to read the detail, but the last column where we have actually a red line that shows the porosity, and you can see how it changes. And then the next column, it shows the permeability in 3 models. And these 3 models actually, they vary slightly, but in general can give a very accurate and precise permeability. And the third column is the pore water geometry, and that include clay water, mobile water, and capillary water. Next, the NMR log can be output in a different format to display the pore water geometry in more detail, which include clay fluid volume, capillary fluid volume, and mobile fluid volume. And that is the first column, which is colored, and you can see the changes actually relative to the next column, which is the permeability. Also displayed on the same log, which is the last column, is the transmissivity, and being presented here in 3 models as well. Next, the data, sorry, can we go back? I think there was a slide missing. No, just leave it as it is. The data provided have a wide range of applications, including hydrogeological investigation, groundwater resource management, aquifer storage and recovery, site and aquifer characterization and assessment, and obstruction well design. Next, the impeller flow meter tool. This tool is used to determine the groundwater flow pattern and direction within the borehole, in addition to the fluid temperature and fluid conductivity. It can also identify casing leak zones. Now, on the log, the last column, the natural gamma, fluid temperature, and fluid conductivity are displayed. Next to that column, the 2 black logs, these are the fluid velocity and fluid flow meter, flow rate, sorry. These 2 logs actually specifically, if they are positive, it means that it is downward flow. If it is in the negative, it means it's upward flow. So it's easy to detect that. Next. The PS logger. This tool is very useful actually to obtain the elastic properties of the rocks, including Young's modulus of elasticity and shear modulus of elasticity, in addition to the Poisson's ratio. The tool includes hammer saws that operate under surface command and produce a tube wave at the borehole wall to generate the longitudinal wave, P wave, and the shear wave, S wave. It also includes 2 receivers, contains 2 transducers. On the log, you could see the last log in green, that is the Poisson's ratio. Next to it in the blue, that's the bulk modulus. Next to it, the red and black is the Young's modulus of elasticity and the shear modulus. And the last column shows the VS and VP. The first actually is a VP divided by PS, and the second is a VS in meter per sec, and the VP is meter per sec. In addition to that, also we provide density. Next. Full waveform sonic. This tool used 2 transmitters and 2 receivers to generate the P and S wave, which is different technique from the P and S logger, the previous one. This tool is useful if there is installation in the borehole. It is mainly used to assess the integrity of the cement grout or bentonite cement grout or bentonite grout, and identify also bridging or deficiency or gaps within the grout and the bonding between the grout and the steel or plastic pipe in the borehole. Next, formation density. This tool provides the bulk density. It uses 3 double shielded detectors at different spacing from a gamma radiation source. The high resolution density and bed resolution density in count per seconds are also recorded and displayed on the output. We generally follow the rules and regulations in dealing with the source in terms of handling, storage, and maintenance. Next, downhole camera. This camera is more sophisticated video camera relative to the cameras available currently for the downhole investigation. It is a high-tech, high-resolution video camera. The camera has autofocus facility and frontal 6 adjustable LED lights. It provides usually a full 360-degree unwrapped image of the borehole. Borehole inclination can also be provided, and this can be used to determine the true vertical depth of the borehole. Next, the acquisition software package allows extensive operator control, including video resolution, frame rate, shutter speed, lighting brightness, white balance, snapshot mode, with depth and time displayed and real-time video annotations. So there are plenty of actually facility in that camera which you could adjust to produce the best image or the best video for the borehole. It allows screenshots to be captured and text editing while viewing or recording. Where more details required, full color snapshot images can also be provided with zooming function. Next, borehole geometry. This is an advanced caliper. I talked about a caliper earlier, but that one was 3 arms. This caliper is more sophisticated than the 3 arms caliper, and the tool is supplied with 4 arms XY caliper in 2 dimensions, which measure the diameter of the borehole along the whole length of the borehole. It can also identify zones of washout, zones of collapses, and highly fractured zones. The data also allow the operator to derive the volume of the borehole or any section within the borehole. The tool also provides natural gamma. Next, fluid sampler. This fluid sampler actually is different from the water sampler which we normally use in the borehole. It's more sophisticated. This tool can retrieve liquid samples from different depths of the borehole in a sealed chamber and delivered and contaminated to a sample container at the surface. The valves at the top and the bottom of the chamber controlled by a motor control unit at the surface. Next. This chart actually is a summary of the tool's application, the process data required, and the borehole requirement. In order for these tools to operate and generate data, the borehole need to be either water-filled hole or open hole or cased hole. You can see most of the tools require open hole and water-filled, while few tools can generate data whether the hole is cased or not. It's a very important chart for anybody who want to use this service, the geologging service. So you could see whether the hole need to be filled with water or there is no need for that, or whether the hole can be logged even with the casing. There are certain properties which you can pick up even if there is like the natural gamma, even if the hole is cased with metal casing or plastic. So it's very important actually to decide what to do or how to go around a borehole in order to geolog it properly. Obviously, the geologging logs can be produced in PDF format and can be included in a factual report or separately. If a factual report is required, the factual report will include detail of the work carried out, the tools used, calibration certificates, and conformity certificates. We can also provide an interpretive report, which includes a complete interpretation of all the data. Next. In addition to the geologging services we also offer a packer testing. Next. These are the tools used for the packer testing. Next. And this is the output from the packer testing. Next. We also provide HPD testing services. Next. This is the output from the HPD test. Next. I will hand over the presentation back to my colleague, Eric.
Okay, hi, thanks, Sinan. Right, this is just a very few slides at the end, just to show you the other services that Structural Soils can offer. We have a GIS database of all of the information and the reports that we've undertaken over the last 60 odd years. So again, very, very helpful to any pre-planning of the works that we may be doing for any of our clients. And we're very happy to look at that. One of the things that Structural Soils have invested quite heavily in is sort of a rotasonic rigs. We've got 3 in-house rigs. They are very versatile. We've got a number of different sizes, going from the 600 series Kamakio down to the 300 series. So they're very versatile, and we can get through the overburden very quickly with the sonic head. And then once we hit bedrock, we can go into the rock using the rotary cord head. So again, very versatile bit of kit. Again, very happy to talk through that if you require it. Some of our clients have asked us to go to some quite tricky locations, so we've invested heavily in all-terrain vehicles. So we've got our Supercats. We've got 3 in our fleet, 1 with a window sample rig on the back of it. This is a site that we worked on the south coast to plan some flood defense work. And this was an intertidal area. So again, we had to get in, do the work, and get out as quickly as we could. The picture on the left is another of our innovations. It's got a rotary rig on the back, one of our Kamakio MC300s. This has a footprint of about 2 psi. So again, if we can generally walk on the site, we can drill on the site as well. So we're quite happy to talk to any of our clients on that availability. We're very proud of our sort of laboratory testing capability. We've got some cyclic Traxels in our Bristol office. We've also, obviously, as I said earlier, we've got our RED lab in Castleford, and we've got labs in Hemel and Tonbridge. So again, we will very happily look after any of your soil or rock testing. Any of our geo-environmental testing gets done by our sister lab, EnviroLab. This is just a very quick picture of our RED lab in Castleford. We have to wear full PPE. The work does take a little bit longer because our lab technicians can only undertake the work for about 4 hours a day before they need to be swapped over. So it does take a little bit longer to get any of our tests undertaken using the RED lab. So lastly, hopefully most of you have seen our Engineers Quick Reference Guide. It's free to download. We're very keen for that to be used in the industry. We're also bringing out a A3 page on soil description. So again, that's a very helpful, handy guide, and that will be on our website very shortly. So the next question, we're now over, we'll just put our cameras back on, and we'll just have a look at any questions that have come in, and hopefully, Sinan, if you want to come on screen, you can share some of the questions. Right, so there you are. So, right, I've got a couple of questions. The first one, Sinan, would the cloudiness of the water in the borehole affect the geologging output?
The borehole should be flushed with a clean water several times until the flush water become clean. The hole after that should be left for at least 24 hours before we carry out the logging. The optical televiewer is the only tool which can be affected badly by the cloudiness of the water. However, other tools such as impeller flow meter and NMR might be affected by the cloudiness to a certain limit.
Thank you, Sinan. I've got another question here for you. Can the NMR be used as an alternative to the packer tests?
Yes, the NMR is a simpler to use to establish the permeability relative to the packer test. It is quicker to run and results can be obtained next day. Also, the measurement of permeability is deeper in the rock from the borehole wall than the packer test. Also, you can get permeability every 25 centimeter. It's different from the packer. The packer, you have to have a pocket and you measure the permeability for that pocket, and progressing this, you miss actually between the pockets permeability of the rocks. So it is different from that actually.
We've got one more question here for you. How soon can the results be obtained from your geologging service?
All the field data processed using a software, and results can be submitted within maybe 24 hours or up to 48 hours after the field work.
I think that's all we've got time for now, Sinan. So very grateful for your presentation. And again, anyone out there, if you do need to get hold of us, the simplistic way is ask@soils.co.uk, and we're very happy to help you out on anything, or look at our website, www.soils.co.uk. Very happy to help. Okay, thank you very much.